Let's talk about the main event. This is what everybody is buzzing about. John Cena is now the 17-time world champion, beating Cody Rhodes in the main event. And we saw Travis Scott, but we did not see The Rock. And I think a lot of fans were upset that they didn't see The Rock. I don't know that a lot of people were really surprised that John Cena won, but Travis Scott being there and The Rock not being there seemed to disappoint fans, even though he was never technically advertised, Jeff. What did you think of this?
Look, I think I told you, maybe I told Silver earlier, I've seen 2 clips today of Rock on McAfee. So that, look, I know we're going to get into all of it, but we'll talk about Sunday night. Conrad, I heard from a little birdie who had all kinds of stats, but you'll probably know this one off the top of your head. How many followers on Instagram does Travis Scott have?
15 million more than WWE.
15 million more.
15 million more than WWE.
So in social media world, in the Instagram world, his brand is bigger than the WWE.
Combined, total, yes.
Yep. With that being said, from, my experience, I have been bashed for a lot of things, Conrad. Pac-Man Jones affiliation, integration, maybe at the top of the list. A few other athletes getting involved. Maybe the Johnny Fairplays getting involved. There was a time in TNA, Brian Urlacher, and we never could get a match out of him there. We'll call it all kinds of celebrity involvement, if you will. But I'll say this, not always, but for the most part, I tried to make the celebrity integration seamless, make as much wrestling sense and logical. And I know that's a loaded question, and there's 1,000 instances, maybe more. If you want to throw in my dad's promotion at Lawler, then we're getting into 5. I mean, I get it. That it's creative is subjective and everything that goes with it. But, and I don't think I'm in the minority, but the Travis Scott integration, I don't care how many followers you have. I can't think in my wildest dreams that we're going to have a stadium show. Yes, WrestleMania, but I'm talking about from a geographical timing and all this, that we're going to give Travis Scott. And I don't know if you've timed this, and I know you did a show with Eric and you got a couple of different text threads, but the amount of time it took him to get music and entrance to the ring and the damage, and then all the stuff that went with it. And I hold John Cena in the highest regards on how to not just get over, but to stay over. Not just with his verbal skills, but finishes, facials, timing. And you know what I think about Cody and the role and how his journey and, the Stardust and the independent scene and AEW and the climb and everything that goes with it. I cannot believe a 2-night event, all the wrestling minds involved in the brainchild of WWE, which are too many to mention, that they all agreed and said, yes, let's give Travis Scott 90 seconds to get to the whatever it is and do this damage. Conrad, it's still baffling to me, the execution. Now, his involvement, I love. I think it's not just brilliant. I think it adds so much to, and I know there's some things that haven't panned out, and we may be going different places, and there may be licensing and music and WME, Rock and Cena, and they all may have the same agent, and it orchestrating this deal. And Jeff, you don't understand, there's zeros upon zeros added to this deal and the monetization. But I'm talking about the execution for the wrestling fan, not casual, not hardcore, just anybody watching that they said, man, this is going to work. Go down there, guys, and execute that. Can you, Conrad, give me on air Your thoughts on the execution of that finish?
I mean, I like the crisis of conscience from Cody, but I agree with you. Having Travis Scott interrupt the flow of the match and take his sweet time getting there. I mean, and then you've got Cody just down selling in the ring. It was, man, it took forever. Yeah, I get why he was associated with it from a social media profile, but at the same time, that was probably not his highest and best use in that moment.
Look, to me, that's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm not the finish, the engagement, the involvement, the crossover, all of that stuff. Couldn't we have had Travis Scott come from, the however you want to call it, the announced desk side or whatever? Can't you do the exact same story, just speed it up exponentially? You're still going to get the beauty shots of Cena and Travis Scott in the ring. You're still going to get the screw job. You're going to still get everything. But we're going to let the guy walk down the that's the only thing that's a little head scratcher. And I can hear it. Oh, Jeff, you did this and did that. And look, I get it. There's a lot of things that I've screwed up on. I'm trying to figure out collectively how they all made the decision and said, yep, this is best for business. Yep, this is going to work. No way did Cody and Cena think that. I'm not buying it.
Efren is with us here live, and he says Travis Scott's music starting to entering the ring, 3 minutes, exactly 3 minutes. So it took 3 minutes for Travis Scott to walk down the ramp. By the way,
shout out, Efren. I appreciate that. But
just so you know, the Joe Hendry Randy Orton match was 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So Randy Orton's match was 10 seconds longer than Travis Scott walking down to the ring.
I love you, Conrad. I knew your comps are the best.
I mean, how do you beat that, right?
Wow. That
puts it in perspective how silly it is.
Let me here's another perspective. A lot of times on wrestling programming, you have a 3-minute break. Boy, I used to love the spike when we'd have 2.5, but you have 3.5 minute break, and even the picture in picture. So you literally could have heard Travis Scott music, gone to the bathroom, did your business, swing back by the fridge, sat down, you wouldn't have missed a thing. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
No. Thank you, Efren. I do appreciate that stat, because here on My World, we want to deliver the very best, compelling, but truthful content we can. 3 minutes.
Yes.
Like that old Allen Iverson. Practice. We're talking about practice. Now, right here, and did they want to play the whole stream? They wanted to get a stream on. I mean,
you know what I was told? I was told they played that song, Travis Scott's song, inside the arena exactly 17 times. Maybe it was for John Cena 17. Maybe it was just a coincidence, but the damn song we heard to death across 2 nights. And then we heard it again. And I just think people assumed, well, for him not to just be in the front row and taking his clearly sweet time down there, that means something else is going to happen. And then when it didn't, I felt like they were disappointed. I knew when they sent Austin out beforehand to announce the attendance, okay, well, now they've got that out of the way, so they don't have a letdown or disappointment in the main event.